Continuing on with our 5.3 lesson, last time we were talking about long division with our polynomials. Now we're going to be talking about long division when the quotient has a remainder. So just a quick review of that. We'll use our long division again, but just with constants, just with numbers. So what about using 5 into 587? Well, 5 doesn't go into 1, but 5 goes into 18 3 times, and 3 times 5 is 15. So when we take 18 minus 15, that leaves us with 3. Now drop down the 7, gives us a 37, and 5 goes into 37 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. So when we subtract that out, 37 minus 35 is 2. So we could say that the answer is 37 remainder 2, or an even better way to say that would be 37 and 2/5. We take our remainder and we put it over our divisor. So 2 over 5. So in the end we would say 187 divided by 5 is 37 and 2/5. Now, how can we take that concept and apply that to our division with polynomials? Well, first we have to get our problem into an actual division problem, which it doesn't look like it is at the moment. Right now we have this polynomial being multiplied by this polynomial to this power. But anytime that you have polynomial to a power, remember that that's, or a negative power, remember that that means it's just the reciprocal of that value then. So if we rewrite that as 2 minus a over 1 to the negative 1, remember that negative means just take the reciprocal, so that becomes 1 over 2 minus a to the first power, to the positive first power now, because we took the reciprocal. And anytime you have something to the first power, it just stays itself. So we're now left with 1 over 2 minus a. Now when we want to multiply that by our other polynomial there, we can write that one as well as a fraction that's just over 1. We'll keep it just as it is. So a squared minus 5a plus 3. Now again, remember, anytime that you are multiplying fractions, we can just kind of get rid of these on the sides here. Okay, this is a multiply. You're multiplying straight across. So when we're multiplying straight across through these, our numerator over here by our numerator here, because our numerator is 1, it's going to stay the same. So we're left with a squared minus 5a plus 3. Again, our denominator of 1 by our denominator of 2 minus a. Since this denominator is 1, it's going to stay the same, so it's still just 2 minus a. So in the end, we are left with a squared minus 5a plus 3 over 2 minus a. And that one is then in a division problem set. Now we can either leave it like that, or we could recognize that 2 minus a can be written as negative a plus 2, which might help us when we're doing these long division problems. Now that we have it written as a dividend over a divisor, we just set it back up into our long division process. We put our divisor on the outside and our dividend on the inside, a squared minus 5a plus 3. And we start working from there. We are looking at how negative a goes into a squared. Well, that's going to be negative a, because negative a times negative a gives us a squared, positive a squared. And negative a times negative 2 is then negative 2a. Remember, we want to subtract this, so this becomes negative, this becomes positive. Negative 5a plus 2a becomes negative 3a, and a squared minus a squared is just 0. So we are left with negative 3a. Drop the plus 3 down. Now we are looking at how negative a goes into negative 3a. And that's just going to be positive 3, because positive 3 times negative 3a is negative 3a. and positive 3 times positive 2 becomes positive 6. Now from here again, we just need to solve that out. We want it to be a subtraction problem, so if we subtract that, that becomes negative. This becomes positive, this becomes negative. Positive 3 minus 6 becomes negative 3. Our negative 3a plus 3a becomes 0. So in this case, it looks like our remainder would be negative 3. Now just like before, we don't want to say remainder of negative 3. We're going to add our remainder over our divisor. Now we can also notice from here then that since we have this negative out front, we can just get rid of it and make this one be a negative. So our answer is going to be negative a plus 3 minus 3 over negative a plus 2, which again, if we wanted to rewrite that, we can say that that is going to be 2 minus a. And this one seems to match up, negative a plus 3 minus 3 over 2 minus a with d. So in this case, our answer is D.